Hi, Sheryl Nicholson again, and I'm going to talk to you today about remember when you had friends? If I didn't have pictures to look back, I would go, did I really do that with those friends? It seems like we spend more time with the people we work with than the people we actually like. When was the last time you hung out with your friends? And legitimately, I know some of the reasons why. Number one, it costs money. You have to go buy food to feed them, drinks, stash the bar, whatever. It costs money. And number two, the most important thing is work. It means work before they get there, work after they leave. You got to clean before they get there. So we start saying things like, oh, they can't see this hole in the carpet, or I need to paint that wall before I invite people over. And we make excuses that just roll on and on and on. So if you value friends, which I hope you do, to get a life balanced, you've got to put friends back into your life. So this tip has worked very successfully for me, and I share it with audiences all over the world. The first thing you need to do is divide your city in quarters. That's right. North, south, east, and west. Now, the reason you do that is I live in the Tampa Bay area, and our St. Pete people stay on that side of the bridge, and Tampa people stay on the other side of the bridge. And when I would invite people to my home out in the country, they'd go all the way over there. Seemed like it took a long time, especially in business traffic. So I learned quickly, if I divide the town in quarters, then I can see all of my friends who live on the north side of town 1/4 of the year. The others who live on the east side, then I set up a meeting for the ones on the south and the ones on the west. So that has worked very, very well for me. Here's another tip. Find a place to meet. For example, if I say, let's go meet at Eddie V's for dinner, nobody assumes that I'm going to pick up their tab. So if you have friends who like to drink a lot, they pay for their meal. And if you don't, you're not being punished with picking up their tab. Everybody pays for their own tab. And the really great thing about that is nobody's cleaning up except for the waiters and waitresses and the service personnel afterwards. So another tip is to have a location that has something right next door or within it. For example, I like to eat at a restaurant that has entertainment. We go to this great Italian restaurant, and this guy comes in and sings opera. There's another Greek restaurant that we go to that does belly dancing. And the reason is, I learned this the hard way, is when I would have the place maybe 10 minutes, you had to get in the car after dinner and drive 10 minutes up to the road to entertainment. You know what happens, right? Everybody gets in the car and goes, I was really full. I'm tired. Let's go home. Or let's go back to the check on the kids. Or let's, the babysitter has to leave soon. And you lose half of your crew. So if you have the location that has events in that location, or entertainment, magicians, comedy club, whatever, those people will stay. Most of them will stay longer. Now, I typically will invite 4 couples. And the reason is somebody's going to cancel. Somebody's going to get sick, or somebody's child is going to get sick, or something at work's going to come up and they're not going to be able to come. So if you have 4 couples, chances are at least 3 couples, 6 of you will be going out. If you have more than that, the restaurants don't want to see you. They don't want a table of 20 people or 10 people or 12 people even. It's too much for them. They're not as welcoming as if you have 6 or 8 at the table. So that's another tidbit. So this has worked really, really well for me. I invite my friends out, everybody comes, we have a great time, and then everybody leaves. Now, for those of you who maybe don't have the money to go out and eat dinner, here's some additional tips. I have one of my audience members told me she does Cartoon Saturday. And what that means is she and her husband take turns, and one of them stays home and watches cartoons with everybody else's kids while the husbands go out and do golf. And then the next time the husbands are watching the kids while the wives go out and do something together. So that has been great. What they require is everybody to bring a box of bagels or Munchkin donuts and coffee, and that feeds the gang that's left behind. The girls in the house with the kids, they still party. They're still having a good time. They're still nurturing those friendships, and it costs next to nothing. So that's a really great idea. If you have additional ideas, please share them. You can comment here on the YouTube channel. Did you know? You can also connect on Facebook. We have a Facebook group called Get a Life Balanced with the D. I'm going to be available speaking all over about this particular topic. There's also a workbook called Get a Life Balanced. So my goal is to help you leave a legacy with those you love. Just take one bad habit that you are doing now that's putting you out of balance. Take that habit and throw it away and put one new habit, a positive habit, into your life, and it'll work for you. If you're not a video person, we've got a Get a Life Balanced podcast you can listen to. It's everywhere now, not just iTunes and Stitcher, but it's on Pandora, and it's lots of other places. So thank you very, very much for your support, and I'll be back with another tip for you on how to get a life balanced.